Welcome to Arapahoe Park's Jockey Room, and a welcome to Arapahoe Park to Jockey Joe Badilla Jr., one of the most decorated quarter horse jockeys of our generation. And Joe, you've ridden at Arapahoe Park before, right? What is your experiences before at Arapahoe?
Yes, off and on. I rode here from when I was riding before I took my 10-year hiatus, and I've always liked it here. Enjoyed the racing a lot, and always felt very welcome.
It's great to have you back, and you start riding in 1990. What's your journey to becoming a jockey and the career that you've had? Really, it's in two parts. You were a jockey, then took some time off, trained, back to being a jockey. But let's start out early in your career. What are some of the memories you have from when you first started and some of the big races that you won early on in your career?
I was fortunate. I mean, I rode pretty good horses from the beginning, and I started winning races, and I actually made it a habit. You know, I mean, I showed up and expected to win instead of just showing up to ride. And then I got the rush in my head that, hey, this is a fun way of making a living, and I started my career. And I mean, it was a pretty good career when it took off, and I was able to win the All-American Futurity, the Los Al Million, the Champion of Champions, the Texas Classic Futurity. I mean, I won probably the biggest races in the country at one point.
You basically named all the big races in California, New Mexico, and Texas, and now you're back riding after a stint of training. So you've been on it on both sides, riding and training. Compare and contrast the difference between the two, and what would make someone a good rider versus a good trainer, and can you call on what you learned as a rider when you were a trainer?
Yes, when you're riding, it's you get to feel the horse from above the horse. Training, you got to feel the horse from the ground, and you got to be able to make adjustments with the horse's attitude. As when you're on the horse, you can make the adjustments and give him the feel for the horse, and have the horse picking up the bit, whether it's he's feeling a lot more powerful today or not. And those are some kind of points that I was able to use to my benefit in both areas.
And then to come back to riding after training, what was the journey to riding? How did you make the journey back to becoming a full-time jockey again?
Yeah, long story. To sum it up really quick, it was kind of an accident that I was fighting blood pressure, and my girlfriend, her and I have a child together. Her name's Aria, and she turned me on to these chia seeds, and they did some wonders for me, and I started losing weight. And then I thought, man, if I started exercising, I can start riding again. That's exactly how it happened.
It's quite an endorsement for chia seeds to becoming a good jockey. And how has it been the second time around compared to the first starting riding full-time again in 2014?
So far, I've really enjoyed how the game's changed, and I appreciate for the career I had the first part of my life, and now I appreciate more the opportunities I get than before. Like I said, I expected them. Now I enjoy the opportunities people are giving to me, and I haven't hit the big one yet, but it's on its way.
Knocking on the door, definitely. And you've been back with some success to Los Al in New Mexico, and now riding full-time in Louisiana. Is that correct?
Correct. I'm gonna base myself out of Louisiana for the time being, just to kind of make adjustments in my career to where I could perform at the top level in the best races in the country, but I won't be based out of one state instead of flying around just hopping from racetrack to racetrack.
Well, describe the life of a jockey, because you won at Delta Downs. I think the race went off at 10 o'clock p.m. and now you're in Colorado. What is that like to win a race late at night and then have to go the next morning on the road to ride in another state?
No, it's very similar to a baseball player. You hit a home run, and the next day you're at the you're in a different stadium hitting the baseball game. But for as far as a jockey's perspective, I I mean, it's phenomenal. It's a phenomenal feeling. I mean, I get to win a race in one state, and I get to perform in a major race in another state. It's just, I mean, there's words aren't to describe it.